So, you love the sound, the speed of Formula One, but maybe the rules feel a little complicated? Don't worry, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to break down a whole Grand Prix weekend, from the very first lap in practice all the way to that checkered flag.
And it's so true. An F1 weekend is way more than just a race on a Sunday afternoon. It's this huge festival of speed, brainy strategy, and some serious high-stakes drama. The atmosphere is just electric, but, to really get it, to feel it, you've got to understand the structure behind all of that awesome chaos.
Right? You see these incredible cars flowing by. You hear the commentators getting all excited. But what are the moments that really matter? The ones that decide who's popping the champagne on the podium? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into. Let's turn you from someone who's just watching into someone who knows exactly what they're watching.
All right, first things first. You need to know that an F1 event is a marathon, not a sprint, although, as we'll see, sometimes it's both. It's not a one-day thing. It unfolds over a whole weekend, and every single session has its own job to do, all building up to the big race.
So the classic weekend format breaks down into three main parts. First up, you've got free practice. Think of this as the team's homework session. They're testing out the car, figuring out the best setups, learning every little bump and curve of the track, and just gathering a mountain of data. After that, it's qualifying. This is the super high-pressure fight for where you start the race. And then, of course, the main event, the Grand Prix on Sunday. That's where it all counts.
And let's dig into qualifying a bit more, because it's not just about who's fastest. It's a total nail-biter, split into 3 parts in a knockout style. So in Q1, the 5 slowest drivers, they're out. Then in Q2, another 5 get knocked out. That leaves us with Q3, the final top 10 shootout for that legendary pole position, the #1 spot on the grid. And trust me, on a tight track like Monaco where you can barely pass, starting on pole, that can be pretty much the whole ball game.
But just when you think you've got it figured out, F1 throws a curveball. A few times a year, we get what's called a sprint weekend. This thing completely shakes up the normal schedule. It's a high-tempo twist that crams in a ton more racing action and totally changes the flow of the weekend.
Okay, so what's the big deal with the sprint weekend? Well, the first thing you'll notice is that practice time gets slashed. It goes from 3 whole sessions down to just 1. That puts a crazy amount of pressure on the teams to get their car set up perfect, like right away. And what do you get instead? You get a whole other race, a shorter one called the sprint. And yes, it has its own championship points up for grabs. So what's the bottom line? Less time for homework, way more time for flat-out racing.
So, whether it's a traditional weekend or a sprint weekend, everything, and I mean everything, builds to this one moment, the start of the Grand Prix. Those few minutes before the race begins, what everyone calls lights out, are honestly some of the most intense, heart-pounding moments in any sport, period.
And you might think, how hard can it be? But getting 20 of the most powerful cars on the planet to start a race safely is, well, it's a seriously complex dance. It's not a simple ready, set, go. It's this perfectly timed procedure where drivers, mechanics, and officials all have to be in perfect sync to make sure the start is safe and, just as importantly, fair.
So, here's the play-by-play. The cars roll out of the pits and line up on the grid in the order they qualified. Then, they all go on one slow lap together called the formation lap. Now, this isn't just a parade lap for the fans. It's absolutely critical for warming up the tires and brakes to get them working just right. Once they finish that lap, they pull back into their starting boxes, the engines roar, the tension is just off the charts, and then it's lights out.
But hey, have you ever stopped to wonder about something kind of weird? The race starts when 5 red lights go out, not when a green light turns on. Kind of backwards, isn't it? Well, there's actually a super cool reason for it, and it all comes down to a little bit of science.
Get this, it turns out our brains react faster to a light going off than one coming on. It's a proven fact. So drivers weren't actually waiting for a green light, they were anticipating the red ones disappearing. To make the start all about pure, raw reaction time, Formula One just got rid of the green light altogether. It's a tiny little detail, but it shows you the incredible level of precision they think about in this sport.
Okay, so the race has started, cars are flying everywhere. How in the world does race control talk to 20 drivers who are strapped into rockets going over 200 miles per hour? Well, they use a system that's actually ancient, but it's been perfected for the modern age. Flags. And honestly, the best way to wrap your head around it is to think of it like a really simple language. Each color means one specific thing, no confusion. And yeah, today they have fancy electronic panels and lights on the dashboard, But the good old-fashioned physical flags waved by a marshal, they're still the heart of the whole system.
All right, the one you're going to see the most is the yellow flag. A single yellow flag means there's danger up ahead. Drivers have to slow down, be ready to swerve, and, this is a big one, absolutely no overtaking. Now, if you see 2 yellow flags being waved, that's a whole other level. It means be ready to stop because the track ahead could be completely blocked.
And then, after you pass the danger zone, you'll see the green flag. This one's easy, and it's the one every driver loves to see. It means all clear, the mess is gone, the track is safe. You are good to go. Put your foot down and get back to racing. Now, the red flag, this is the showstopper. Literally, if you see a red flag, it means the race is stopped immediately. They'll throw this for a huge crash, crazy weather, or anything that makes it just too dangerous to keep going. All the cars have to slow right down and make their way carefully back to the pits.
Okay, the blue flag. This one is all about traffic management. It's shown to a slower driver when a much faster car is coming up behind them to lap them. Basically, it's the track's way of saying, hey, get out of the way. The driver has to let the faster car pass as soon as it's safe to do so.
So what happens when a driver misbehaves? Well, we have flags for that too. First, there's the black and white flag. Think of it like a final warning in soccer for bad sportsmanship. Then there's the black flag with an orange circle in the middle. Everyone calls it the meatball flag. That one means your car has a dangerous mechanical issue and you must go to the pits. And the solid black flag? Oh, that's the one nobody wants to see. That means your race is over. You're disqualified. Go home.
But what about those in-between situations? You know, when an incident is too big for just a yellow flag, but maybe not quite bad enough to stop the whole race with a red flag. For that gray area, race control has 2 very important tools to slow things down and keep everyone safe.
And the difference between these two is absolutely huge for race strategy. You have the full safety car, that's a real car that actually comes out on track and leads all the F1 cars around. The big thing here is that it bunches everyone up, erasing any lead a driver might have built. It's a total disaster if you're leading, but a miracle if you're trying to catch up. Then you have the virtual safety car, the VSC. This is different. There's no actual car on track. Instead, every driver just has to slow down to a set speed limit, right where they are. And the most important part, it keeps the time gaps between the cars exactly the same.
And hey, here's another cool piece of info that dictates how a race is run. You ever wonder why a race at a super fast track like Monza has way fewer laps than a short, twisty one like Monaco? It's not random. It's actually just simple math. See, every single Grand Prix has to be at least 305 kilometers long. So you just take that magic number, divide it by the length of the track, and boom, that tells you how many laps they'll be doing that Sunday.
All right, let's do a quick cheat sheet of everything we just learned. You've got 2 kinds of weekends, the classic traditional format and the action-packed sprint. Qualifying is what decides where everyone starts the race. The start itself, it's all about those 5 red lights going out. The flags are how everyone communicates on track. And the safety car and VSC, they're used to manage chaos. But remember, one bunches the pack up, and the other keeps the gaps the same. Huge difference.
And there you have it. You're now officially up to speed on how a Formula One Grand Prix weekend works. You know the flow, you know the key rules, you know what to watch for. So, now that you're in the know, who are you going to be cheering for when those lights go out?